Welcome back to another edition of Songs of the Ozarks, a project of the Ozarks Studies Institute, an ongoing initiative of the Missouri State University Libraries. My name is Emalee Flatness, and today's date is March 1st, 2023. And I am here with Uke 66 in the Ozarks Room at Missouri State University. Thank you guys so much for meeting with me today.
Glad to be here.
We're very happy to be here, Emalee.
Amazing. Would you all mind playing a song before we start our interview?
The song is called Hedgehog Cafe.
That was so wonderful. What joyful music.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And it's so joyful and bright, but also soothing. I love it.
Rick wrote that song. It's
my
called
goodness.
Hedgehog Cafe. We had visited, you've heard of cat cafes.
Yeah.
We were in Kyoto, Japan in 2017, and they had a Hedgehog Cafe, and he was inspired. It was just little hedgehogs running around. So that's the feeling of that, especially the very beginning of the song. So.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to listen back to that and just think about the hedgehogs.
Yep. Good.
Comes out. So, my first question for you all, are you originally from the Ozarks?
No, we're not. We're from way down south.
Yeah, way down south.
Southern California.
Right. We're from Ventura, California.
Wow.
And we went to kindergarten together. And then different elementary, junior high schools, and then reconnected in high school as great friends, then separate ways, and reconnected again at our 35-year high school reunion. So, but we live in Springfield now.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I came here 22 years ago to teach at Drury University, and raise my family here, and consider Springfield my home.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
I moved here about almost 10 years ago, so it's my home.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how you all learned ukulele or were called to play it. Was it something you did separate and then came together or learned together?
Yeah.
Yeah, that part, yes, but Rick has a different journey on his. So.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I think it's about 15 years ago. I was teaching a class on Oahu, and at Schofield Army Base. And while I was there, I was down in Waikiki and listening to music and watching, Hawaiian ukulele players, and I was just smitten. I've like a lot of people, considered the ukulele to be a toy. Wasn't something to be taken seriously until that moment where I saw beautiful instruments being played in very musical ways. And when the music was over, one of the women in the performing group stepped forward and she said, "If any of you would like a free ukulele lesson, meet us tomorrow at this hotel out front, and we'll teach you how to play ukulele." And that's me. They're inviting. It's free,
Yeah.
and I'm going to get to try this out. And so I went there, and they had some tables set up with ukuleles, mahogany ukuleles, and we all sat down. And a half hour later, we were all strumming and singing "My Little Red Hibiscus," and I thought, I need this in my life. I need just like you said, Emalee. It's a happy sound, and playing ukulele made me happy. So when I got home to Springfield, I had some Christmas money, and I bought a ukulele, and I haven't turned back. It just took off from there. Yeah.
And I about 9 years ago, I was taking cello lessons, and as an adult, I wanted to play the cello. And I saw something on TV that I thought, oh, I want to learn how to play the ukulele. And so I bought a ukulele and I started playing, and it didn't take me long to realize it's a lot easier to carry a ukulele than it is a cello. So apologies to the cello teacher, but I made the switch, and I haven't looked back either, and it's just really been a joy.
So,
I was just gonna say, one of the things Karen was living on a lake.
Right.
And she said, what this lake needs is someone strumming a ukulele.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that was gonna be her.
Yeah, that was the inspiration. It was something I'd seen on television, and I was living on a lake in Northern California, and we entertained a lot, and I thought, I need to learn to play the ukulele, just strum it in the background. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you had some musical background. Did you also have musical background with instruments?
Yes, and for our friends here in the Ozarks, I did grow up playing guitar. and for 40 years I played a Martin D28 acoustic guitar, and played a lot for church and worship, and then also every summer for 25 years I was the music and program coordinator at a summer camp for children.
Wow.
And I played that guitar, so at my age, and this happens to a lot. Watch out, you musicians. After a while, it starts to hurt.
Oh.
And a doctor said, "Well, yeah, you've got arthritis." And I said, "I'm too young to have arthritis." But I was switching from 6 steel strings to 4 nylon strings was a no-brainer, and so no more guitar. And, but hello ukulele. There's plenty here for all of us.
Yeah.
So, what venues do you all usually play at?
That's a good question. I've mentioned before, it's kind of hard being a ukulele in a banjo and guitar and mandolin world.
Definitely.
So we actually get a lot of contracts out of Kansas City and St. Louis, some of the larger areas. And we do a lot of, we have played here. We played at Holdfast, and we play at Arts Fest and Cider Days, Millsap Farms, Pizza Night. And we love those. We love being able to share our music with people who, a lot of times people, they stop and they look and they go, well, I'll be. And one time somebody listened to us at Millsap Farms, and he came up later and he said, that far exceeded my expectations. And we're like, thank you.
That
I think
makes us very happy.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was kind of a strange compliment, but
Right.
but it really made us happy. So we do a lot of luaus actually, and a lot of corporate events, and we take the Hawaiian music very seriously. We are mentored by Hawaiian musicians on Oahu, and we study the language to make sure that we're being as authentic as we possibly can as non-Hawaiians. So those are the kind of venues.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because the Ozarks is our home, right? It's hard to live and play somewhere and not be influenced by your home and by your own culture. And I bet you're going to ask us about that. So I'll just stop talking.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering how common is ukulele in the Ozarks, and also how does your community affect your music? How would you say the Springfield community or your Ozarks community?
why don't you answer that?
Right. I want to save that for later. Why don't you tell us
Okay.
that the ukulele has been an influence in Missouri in ways that you may not expect.
Right. So, the ukulele came over from Hawaii it was introduced to the mainland U.S. in 1915 at the Pan-Pacific Exposition in San Francisco. Hawaii had, now it's a booth at the fair, but back then it was a building, and they had hula dancers, pineapple, and ukuleles. And the ukulele had just arrived in Hawaii in 1879 from Portugal, which is another story. But the 1915 fair started a whole wave of popularity of the ukulele in the continental United States. And there was a young man from Hannibal, Missouri named Cliff Edwards, and he started playing the ukulele, and he got very good at it. He performed on Broadway. He did the hit single back then of Jada, Jada, da 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 da. And he started going by the name Ukulele Ike. And he had a friend who also had lived in Missouri and called him up and said, "I'm in Hollywood now making movies, and I have a character voice that I want you to do, because when I hear you sing, I hear a smile." And that was Walt Disney. And that's how Cliff Edwards from Hannibal became the voice of Jiminy Cricket. Now that's North Missouri, but also at the 1915 exposition, we learned that Laura Ingalls Wilder had been visiting her daughter in Berkeley, and they went to the exposition, and she went to the Hawaiian exhibit and wrote about how charming it was, but we don't know if she bought a ukulele or not. Darn it. So that's some of the history, but we also have a community of ukulele players in the Ozarks, specifically in Springfield. We have the Queen City Ukulele Club that's been in existence since 2013. Rick founded and advised the Drury Ukulele Club. He started that in 2012.
D-Ukes.
The D-Ukes. Wow. And we took them to our sister city of Isesaki, Japan to perform.
Fantastic.
It's not in existence anymore since he retired a couple of years ago, unfortunately. But and then there are ukulele programs at some of the middle schools where they write a grant and they get some ukuleles. I have the Ukulele Academy of the Ozarks, and we started a Ukestra last fall, which is a ukulele orchestra. We have about 20 members in it, and they play parts arranged specifically for Ukestras, like Ode to Joy, melody, harmony, chords, baritone, bass, and it's really a fun organization. Historically also, there's a group called the Happy Plunkers, and they started in 1989, and it's a bunch of seniors who play ukulele, and there are about 20 of them, and they took a break during COVID, but they're back at it again, and they have a Facebook page, the Happy Plunkers, if anybody's interested in having them come sing at their organization. They sing at hospitals and in care facilities and things, and they do show tunes, and they really get
patriotic songs.
Yeah, they're really wonderful.
And gospel songs.
Mm-hmm. And there's another group called the Joyful Pickers. I think they're at a Schweitzer church, Methodist church, and they've been together for about 25 years. They do something similar. And then we're friends with a woman here in Springfield. Her name is Amy Squires, and she comes from a large family here in Springfield, and I think 12 kids. And I think she might be the youngest, but she had a sister who played the ukulele. Her name was Kathleen McClung, and she performed on the Ozarks Jubilee, the Junior Jubilee. She played the ukulele and she sang. She was on the Ted Mack Amateur Hour. She won the Amateur Hour's a talent contest in Kansas City and went on to New York City for the finals. And she performed, and I'm not really sure, at the Ozark Folk Festival or in Eureka Springs, and she performed in 1957. So she was making a name for herself with the ukulele. Amy still has her ukulele. It's about 70 years old now. It's a Gibson concert size, which is the size of mine. And Kathleen was in a car with her sister and 2 other friends, and they were in an accident in 1961, and she passed away. All 4 passed away, unfortunately. But the memory lives on. As long as somebody remembers her, she'll always be alive. So.
Yeah. So the ukulele has been around in the Ozarks for quite some time. And yeah, as I mentioned before, in fact, we have something for you.
Oh, wow.
Is
Yeah.
it
It's
in
in the
that
bag.
bag?
Yeah.
Uke 66. That's one way our little band is influenced by our home. Springfield, the birthplace of Route 66, and we play ukuleles, so we're Uke 66, and we think that's pretty cute.
Yeah.
So we have this hat for you, and it has our, it has the route, actually Uke 66 on the front, but when you look on the back, it has a concept listed that's very important to us. It says, Ozark Aloha. And, we want you to have.
Thank
we
you.
want
I've
you
never
to-
gotten a gift before.
we
I'm
want-
here right now.
We want you to have. And what we've come to learn about ukuleles is that they play well with others. Right? If a ukulele was in elementary school and came home with a report card, that's what it would say. Plays well with others. Gets along.
I love
And
that
so
imagery.
it's not necessarily associated with a particular culture, although we think of Hawaii, don't we? Yeah, and it's not limited to a particular musical genre. It can find its way into jazz, classical, folk, and the like.
Yeah.
But because Karen and I, our ukulele journey has been influenced largely by Hawaii. She mentioned the ukulele bands there the people there who have given so freely of their knowledge and skill.
Yeah.
Just have touched us, and then the opportunities that we've had here, because we live in the Ozarks, and so we thought, why can't there be an Ozark Aloha? And it's caused us to think deeply about similarities, because it's easy to think about the differences, right? The Ozarks is not the Hawaiian Islands, right?
Right.
There's plenty that make us different, but there is also a lot that make us very similar. And just a short list is that both cultures have influenced our worldview, right? Both cultures have influenced our music and our instruments and the songs that we play, and both cultures have influenced the way that we then turn that back and influence others in Hawaii and in the Ozarks. In terms of our worldview, things that we share is an intense love and reverence for family. Right? Both cultures love food. and how food serves as a way to bond and to build community. Both have influenced the way it's influenced our music is that well, just think of it. You get string instruments in Hawaii, they love things that they can slide.
Yeah.
So you know, so do we. A lot of their songs will reference family, grandma, right? A lot of their songs influence or speak of beloved places, like our mountain music.
Right.
Songs about our porches and our gates and our rivers and our creeks, and in Hawaii they even have that Mele Pana, songs of place, and Karen and I have incorporated some of those songs into our repertoire too. When you think, I know, Emalee, you spend a lot of time talking to people who their music is Ozarks, and the Ozark is their music, and a lot of those, I think, a lot of times the story comes up. So where did you learn your instrument? And it was on the porch with my family, right? Or in a jam. I was invited to sit in a circle and listen and emulate what they're doing, and now I'm doing it. The story is the same in Hawaii. They call it kanakapila. And people grow up learning Hawaiian music and Hawaiian songs, and ukulele is included in kanakapilas. Usually friends and family who are gathered. Often there's food involved, right? And they play the songs.
Yeah.
They play the songs. And the people who are considered pros now, you ask them, I say, how'd you learn? I learned on the porch, right? I learned, it was handed down to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? We have all these things in common, and both cultures have influenced the instruments that we play. Karen and I play ukuleles that were built on Oahu by a company called Kanalea. And we brought a couple of them today. This is a tenor, Kanalea. It's built from koa wood. The only place you're going to get koa wood is in Hawaii.
So
It's
beautiful.
a protected wood, but it's beautiful. Show them
Oh,
your
yeah.
Karen's concert is also a Kanalea, and
Gorgeous.
we have a personal relationship with the family that owns that business and builds those ukuleles. In fact, we were there for Christmas one year, and the Sousas.
Joan Kristen.
Yeah, Kristen, we were in their shop, and Kristen said, "What are you doing for Christmas?" And we said, "We're in Hawaii. That's what we're doing for Christmas." And she said, "But what are you doing on Christmas?" And we didn't have plans. So she said, "You come to our house. Come to our house."
And I want to say something.
Yeah, oh, okay.
That's the spirit of aloha. You know, we talk about Ozark aloha, but what is aloha? For a lot of people, aloha is what you say when you greet somebody or when you're leaving the company of a person. Aloha, but it's much deeper than that. It represents grace and inclusivity and love, and it's a whole philosophy and a way of being that is very central to Hawaiians.
Yeah. It's two words. Alo, a gift freely given. Ha, the breath of life. And so when you are exchanging aloha, you're exchanging something very deep and meaningful.
Wow.
So that's what we're trying to bring, and that's what we tried to nurture in the Queen City Ukulele Club as well, because we have all types of people in that club. It's a free club that meets at Ernie Williamson Music, and we have all abilities and all ages. We have opinions in that club too, and we just ask that people check them at the door and just be together and experience the music together and the joy and the fun that we have. So that's our version of Ozark Aloha.
So and we love our Hawaiian instruments, but today we are playing ukuleles that were built in the Ozarks.
Amazing.
We have a good friend who lives in Mountain Grove, is a luthier. He builds guitars, mostly what are they, reproductions of the old Martins and the old Gibsons, but he also has a passion for the ukulele. So the ones that we're playing today, Karen's concert is solid walnut. Yay, Ozarks, right? The back and side's walnut, the neck is walnut, the top is spruce. Mine is mahogany, and the soundboard also spruce. But this soundboard came off of a 100-year-old upright grand piano. It was the soundboard on the back, and this piano for 100 years. All it wanted to do was be a ukulele. So we got it wasn't functioning as a piano, so we gave it new life. It's still making music.
Yes. And it's happy.
And it's happy. And Mike put our shield as
the Uke 66 shield.
Yeah, but mother of pearl shield, and he put a lightning bolt. Because Karen is just a spark.
He's a good husband. So the neck.
Tell them the real story.
Yeah, the neck of my ukulele it's a solid piece of walnut, Ozark walnut, and it came from a tree in Eminence near Alice Springs. Yeah. And the family that lived there, the story that we were told, had been there for over 200 years, and so it was a tree they had planted. And it had to be cut down, and I asked the man why, and he said because it had been hit by lightning. So we have the lightning bolt, and I love stories like that. It's imbued with the force of nature. So my lightning bolt is mother of pearl outlined by abalone, and I have abalone fret markers and string pins down here, reflecting my childhood on the coast of California, where everybody had abalone shells in their front yard. So that's the story of my ukulele.
Yeah. So, but the Ozarks and the Hawaiian Islands influence the instruments that we play. Amazing. And we try to let them influence the songs that we play. Yeah. And we would like to play a couple songs for you. Do we have time?
That sounds amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
I do have one question.
Okay.
And it's a little bit off topic slightly, but I'm very curious about it. So, part of Ozark's traditional music is they have these really sorrowful songs along with the really cheerful music. Is there anything that's comparable to those really sorrowful songs in, traditional ukulele?
Yeah. There definitely is. And probably one of the most famous, Aloha Oi, would be a perfect example of what you're talking about. When you think of Hawaiian music, don't you think aloha, aloha? We even see it in Disney cartoons. But the story behind that song is clearly one of grief and sorrow.
It was in the after the ukulele had been introduced to Hawaii, so it was post 1879. Queen Liliuokalani and friends were riding horses. They were on Oahu, and they were coming down from one of the mountains, and there was an English or American sailor who was having to leave the islands, and he had developed a relationship with a Hawaiian woman, and Queen Liliuokalani saw them embracing. Not that she was spying on them or anything, but she caught that out of the corner of her eye, and it really struck her as something very sad, because at the time they didn't know if he'd be able to return again, and this woman wasn't going to go with him. So she wrote the song about one fond embrace. There's a line in it, and aloha oi, hopefully we'll see you again, and it's like a national anthem, and so that's a very sorrowful song, very bittersweet.
Song of farewell.
Yeah, so there are happy songs on the ukulele, but there are also sorrowful, and that's the nice thing about the instrument, like some other instruments as well. You can choose a song from any genre and play it on the ukulele.
Okay, Emalee, this is a mashup of mainland song and Hawaiian music and Hawaiian poetry, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It also represents the bittersweet truth of life, that good and bad both exist in this world, and sometimes they happen simultaneously.
Right. Okay. Here we go. 2, 3. Someone told me long ago, there's a calm before the storm.
I know.
And it's been coming for some time. When it's over, so they say, it'll rain a sunny day.
I know. Shining down like water. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Coming down on a sunny day. Luai, hey manao, ikaveku, okokei, ikanani, okana, okanoe, poyai, kolala, hey ainala, ikawa, lili, oh amea, uleloa, nevermore,
Nevermore.
to say goodbye. Life's bittersweet path, encircling mist of goodbye.
Hot tears of the sun, our sorrow. Whispering sea,
Whispering sea,
whispers to me.
whispers to me, malama,
Pono.
I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Coming down on a sunny day.
Life's
Kalala,
bittersweet path,
hey anala,
encircling mist of goodbye.
kawa,
Hot tears of the sun,
lili, oh amea,
whispering sea,
ule aloha,
whispers to me.
nevermore,
Hey, malama,
to say goodbye, nevermore,
coming down.
to say goodbye. Someone told me long ago. This is a song that is a conscious attempt on our part to link both cultures, the Hawaiian culture and the Ozarkian culture, in a musical motif that includes musical tropes from both cultures, finger picking rolls that are reminiscent of banjo, and slide guitars and things like that, and then also Hawaiian vamp shows up occasionally there too, and I call this song "Making Biscuits."
2, 3, 4.
making biscuits. And if you'd like to hear it played perfectly, purchase our CD. It's on our debut CD called Uke 66. We've really enjoyed our time here with you. Emalee, thank you for the invitation, and thank you for an opportunity to talk about our two loves, Hawaii and the Ozarks.